Alright everyone, I hope you're keeping safe. Today, I'm just going to take a quick look at the Generation Selects version of Exhaust. He's basically just Wheeljack with a different paint scheme, so let's roll the old review. And that's it. Should you go get him? Yep, I recommend him. Right, I'm off. See ya. Bye. What? He's a repaint. I'm not bringing the A game for a repaint. I've already reviewed the... Well, no. Do I really have to? Come on, I've got tickets for... Fine. Seeing as I'm being made to do this, I picked Exhaust up here from In Demand Toys. It's one of my usual websites I get things from. I think he's out of stock at the moment, but you can sign up to get told when he's back in stock. Oh, flip. In all honesty, I actually kind of prefer Exhaust over Wheeljack. He's got basically the same figure. I mean, it's 99.9%. The only difference is the head is a different sculpt, and obviously the paint scheme is different. Exhaust here is basically just a reference to the fact that before G1, obviously in the Diaclone days, the figure that would eventually become Wheeljack actually had another version, which was the version of the car which was sponsored by Marlboro. But obviously the US didn't want a toy that was advertising cigarettes to come over for their kids, so they didn't import that version. Exhaust would eventually get a second figure, well, there's a few other things knocking about, but a second mass release figure in the version of a repaint / tiny retool of the Masterpiece version of Wheeljack. It looks good. I never picked it up. I'm not a Masterpiece fan per se. While Exhaust has traditionally, in as far as he has appeared traditionally in Transformers, been labelled Decepticon, this version actually falls under the modern sort of mercenaries umbrella. It's the kind of catch-all faction that was added in the Transformers TCG. It's for, as you can imagine, Transformers that aren't Autobots or Decepticons, but just work for whoever pays the most money. I mean, they're actually quite cool. Even the cards were basically repaints of characters. Like, some of them would just be a Siege figure, and the artist would draw the Siege figure with some slightly different colours and a different face. And for some reason, these haven't been made into toys. Why haven't these been made into toys? The only other mercenary figure we've had released has actually been the Earthrise Double Dealer, and technically his two little cassette / Power Masters, which were released as part of a box set, but I'm not counting them because they weren't actually factionalised at the time. But yeah, between the two of them, you have two mercenaries. Exhaust does generally look good. It's a nice repaint of Wheeljack. The colours kind of work better. I think it's the lack of green, just having the black, the red and the white, and the little logo on the front. I actually kind of like the Mercenaries logo. It's a nice, I don't know, it's a midpoint between Autobots, Decepticons, and then something else, like a skull basically, worked into the design. One problem I do have with the figure is it only comes with that little shoulder-mounted rocket launcher that Wheeljack came with. I'd have liked it if it had two larger, unique weapons to go on each shoulder, or just some more guns. He isn't overly armed, or even really adequately armed for a mercenary. And yes, of course, there's probably half a dozen third-party companies out there making upgrade kits for him as we speak. Exhaust looks good on my shelf. He fits in well with the collection. Obviously, because he's a mercenary and the colour scheme is not quite Autobot or Decepticon, he works well with both. You can quite easily see him, I don't know, taking a contract from Megatron, say, to blow up a couple of Autobots, or even the other way around. You might see him being paid to do a little espionage for a little mission for Optimus Prime, and, yeah, again, blowing the crap out of a couple of Decepticons. So, final thoughts? I recommend him. If you can find him online, order him. Well, that's it. Until next time, folks, stay safe, stay sane. Ta-da!